Okay, hello, welcome. I'm going to reach over here and get you a melty kiss. You didn't think you were going to get a kiss from me tonight, did you? But there you go. Where's the camera? Oh, it's over here. It's a melty kiss from Meiji. It's a little chocolate. They're pretty tasty, actually. I won't eat it now because it'll make me not be able to talk. And I'm doing this on my iPad for the first time using the reverse camera so I can watch myself while I'm filming. And oh, look, my hand is enormous. So I don't know that it's HD, but I'm going to kind of just do this as a test to see how the quality is because it's very convenient. I just filmed a long video about a lesson plan I'm doing for the whole month of December in my English classes here at the university. And it's a good video, but right in the middle of about a 14-minute video, I hit the button with my thumb that turns the camera off. So there's an edit in there, which means now I can't just immediately upload it from my iPad to YouTube. I have to go home, put it in iPhoto, take the two pieces out, edit them together, and it becomes a bit more of a hassle. But that video is, I think it's very interesting. It's long, but for those of you interested in teaching in Japan, I think you'll enjoy it. And that will go up probably, what's today, Wednesday? Probably Friday or Saturday. But I'll try to put this up tonight. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. I'm so pro teaching, and I love my job, and I love being an ALT when I was one. I love being a university professor now that I'm doing that. But there are frustrations. As the title will indicate, this is going to be a little bit about some of my frustrations teaching. And I don't want to make it super long, so I'm really just going to talk about one today, and maybe I'll do more of these if you guys want to hear some more. But, nobody likes to hear anybody gripe or whine a lot. But I think some of the things that you'll encounter when you come here to teach will be surprising to you, especially if you're from America. I can't speak so much for classroom life in, say, junior high or high school in, the UK or Australia or Canada or some other English-speaking native countries. But I'm pretty sure I can speak for a lot of America when I compare Japan to America here in a moment. And the one thing, okay. When you teach here, if you come and you teach elementary school, which I did for 5 years when I lived in Taishin, Shimane, the kids are really genki. They're crazy, especially during English time. It's like party time, English, hey! They know they're going to probably play a game. They know the crazy foreigner is coming to their school. The kids have a lot of enthusiasm and energy. They're 7 to 12 years old, so naturally they're just bubbly and excited, etc. And that seems to really get dampened down slowly during their middle school years, from 7th grade to 9th grade for chugakko. It seems like they kind of start out and then they have to put on that uniform. Almost all junior high schools in Japan require a uniform. And, there's rules, and now there's tests, and, they have textbooks, and, English isn't necessarily fun anymore. It's a subject where they get a grade, and, so it starts to dampen them. And then I never taught high school, so I don't know quite what it's like in high school. But my guess is it's even more like the kids have pressure, like they know they're gonna be taking an exam to determine their future, to get into college, especially if you teach in academic school. Some high schools in Japan are more like teaching a trade or getting the kids ready for life in farming or fishing or something where it's maybe not as high stress. But anyway. And then, they're here in college now, they get to relax a little bit, but some of those traits linger. And the one that frustrates me the most is their unwillingness to raise their hand. That is the thing, I think, that it boggles my mind. If you ask a question, especially an easy question, in just about any classroom in America, you're going to have 5 or 6 kids, me. They're going to shoot that hand up and not be shy about saying, hey, I know the answer, pick me. And I was one of those kids a lot of the time when I was a younger student. And so, and I think, it extends to college. You're more casual about it. You might not raise your hand so much or whatever. But if the teacher asks you, class, who was the first president of the United States? And you're not going to sit there and go, well, I know it's George Washington, but I'm not going to tell him, I mean, you're going to say, it's George Washington. you're gonna raise your hand and tell the answer. And kids in Japan just will not raise their hand. They will not take the risk of answering. And there's a lot of reasons for this, and I'm sure other vloggers have talked about this. Some of it is the ultimate fear in Japan of making a mistake, which permeates the culture in a very big way. So this is why you get kids who will turn around, hey, nani, what, wakana, hey, majide, hey, and they'll freak out a little bit if you ask them anything, and they'll turn around to their classmate and ask them, what did he just say in English, even though all I said was, what day is today? Or, in an elementary school classroom or a junior high school classroom, what color is your jacket? Or, what's your favorite ice cream? You can say anything. And they'll turn around and ask, their partners or their classmates, what did they say? Even though they know the answer. Even if it's something like, what's your name? They'll turn around and, consult with the student behind them or something so they don't have to just risk, saying the wrong thing. And it's really frustrating. But it extends to just general, today in class, I was going over something we've gone over many times, asking a question, ironically enough. And what are the 5 W's? What are the 5 W's you can use to help you ask a question? Who, what, where, when, why? Okay? Those 5 words that all start with W that are all, question starter words. And I was like, okay, class, what are the 5 W's? Someone please tell me. And you just hear crickets. Nobody will shout out the answer. And then I turn around and go, okay, please somebody tell me one of the W's. And eventually I just have to call on people. They just will not raise their hand, even though they know the answer. And as soon as I call on them, they're like, oh, what, where, who? They'll say the answers, but they won't take the chance. They don't want to be perceived as bright or smart a lot of the time. I had a student that went to America in junior high school and spent 2 years there, so his English was way beyond, and I've talked about him before, Hitoshi, way beyond his classmates. But he's like, Jason, you can't call on me all the time in English class, even though I know the answer, because, that's just not cool, man. He kind of broke it down to me, he's like, and he would never raise his hand either, even though I knew he knew the answer, but I would call on him a lot, just because I knew I would get the right answer. And he's like, man, that's not cool. Don't do that, And that's the way it is in Japan. It's frustrating that you just get no, help. Teaching should be reciprocal. You want to get out of the way sometimes in teaching, have more student-centered activity, but they just won't. They won't raise their hand. They won't join in. And that's why sometimes I do group projects and stuff where they're just talking to other group members. I play a lot of music in class when they're talking with their partner. So they have to talk a little louder, and they don't necessarily hear other people, and they don't worry so much about making mistakes. And there's ways you can get around it. But if you have a really Genki class that always raises their hand, please tell me about it in the comments if you're an ALT, or with ways that you found to make them more willing to volunteer their answer, because it's just tough, man. Even in college, when you would think they'd be beyond that. All right, I have a lot of other frustrations. This week has been kind of a mix of frustrations and good stuff, I really had to tell a kid off today for, using his frickin' cell phone in class. And it's like, dude, you're 20. I should not be having this conversation with you. Be an adult. If I tell you one time don't do it, don't do it. So I guess that's a subject for another vlog. But, yeah, so there's still not discipline issues, but just, things that bug you about students in Japan, even at my level, even at the college level. All right, thanks for watching this one. Wasn't so short, was it? 9 minutes. Well, when are they ever short? But the other video coming up, I think you'll really enjoy it if you're interested in teaching here, and it'll be up in a couple days. Okay? Peace, guys. Whoa, 2 fingers, look at that. See you next time. Bye.